Welcome back to another episode of The Average Uninformed. We are 4 days away from Avengers Endgame, so you know what that means. I get to sit in a dark room and shield my eyes from spoilers until Thursday evening. Anyways, here's our review for Avengers Infinity War. Sit back, grab a drink, and enjoy.
Are we started?
Yep, whenever you want, we can start.
Well, let's do it then. What are we waiting for? Let's start then.
I was waiting on you.
Let's go then.
All right,
Go.
Let's rock and roll.
Go then.
Ship it.
All right, let's start in.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
It feels like it's been a while, Victor.
No.
For me, it has. It's been a long couple weeks. And, well, it's been a week, but it's been a long couple weeks.
Yeah. We're in your new house now.
That's right. So if it sounds better or worse, that is the reason why. Not that we had any kind of consistency beforehand, but
we had my studio. By my studio, I mean
your bedroom. That's also what I call my bedroom, the studio. Yeah. So we're in a new joint.
It's actually very comfortable. I have a proper chair now.
Yeah, you have a nice armchair I found in the trash.
Is that what you got?
Yeah.
That's pretty good for.
Mm-hmm. There's a few rips on it, but I can't remember it because I've had it for a few years now, but I can't remember if it's from us or from whether it was there or not.
I just you like aggressively gripping it while watching movies.
Yeah. I found that in the trash. That's the benefit of living in Oakville is about 85% of the population is extremely wealthy. So when they get rid of furniture, it's because they're redecorating, not because it's old and needs to be thrown out. So you can just go around and pick up like brand new expensive furniture off the curb. It's great.
That's the 80%. And then the other 20% is like dirt poor students.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Well, there is. I'm the in between. In the Venn diagram, there's a little bit of overlap and I'm in it. So I'm not a student, but I'm also not wealthy.
Then you're outside of that circle. It's not Venn diagram at all then. No, because if it was Venn diagram, then you'd be a student and extremely wealthy.
I'm in the not Venn diagram. I'm in the negative of what the other two are.
Wouldn't that just be a pie chart at that point?
Victor, let me tell you something. How are you?
I'm good. I am, rather than alcohol, I decided to get a frozen hot chocolate. And it is...
Yeah, he's just licking it like delicious. A salt lick.
There's so much sugar in this thing.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, it's so good. Also, that bathroom down here.
Yeah.
When you're sitting on that toilet, do you ever think, could I pee into the shower that's directly in front of me?
Please don't.
You can stream from the toilet to the shower.
Why would you pee into the shower? You're already sitting on the toilet.
I know, but like, oh, hey, challenge. You ever think that though?
Like that little kid who, I mean, all little boys did it. When you're at school, you have like competitions of who can stand furthest back from the urinal.
Yeah.
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 There's one time I got to the back wall, but then you're just like, oh, I'm finishing, and then you have to run back to the urinal.
You run too fast, you start dribbling on your shoes.
Anyway, that's what young boys do in school. For those ladies who wanted to know that. Boy, Victor, should we get into the news? Because we got some topics. Want to talk Suicide Squad? There's some Suicide Squad news.
What?
So the biggest thing was Idris Elba is not playing Deadshot like we thought. He's not replacing Will Smith. He's an all-new character. Maybe Bronze Tiger.
Deader shot.
Maybe Bronze Tiger.
Fine.
Do you know Bronze Tiger? I think he was on Arrow, and Michael J. White played him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so he'll be playing a new character, and a whole bunch of other casting was kind of confirmed. We talked about a few weeks ago, Jai Courtney coming back as Captain Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
So Viola Davis is coming back as Amanda Waller. Joel Kinnaman is coming back as Rick Flag.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Which it's lowered my excitement a little bit because remember how we were talking about a few weeks ago how anytime Mila Jovovich is in a movie, it doesn't matter how great she is in it, it's going to be crap. It's the same thing with Joel Kinnaman.
Wait, was he in RoboCop?
Yeah, that's my point.
Anyway,
Joel Kinnaman, it's fine. Maybe James Gunn will kill him. Who knows? Margot Robbie has also been rumored heavily as coming back as Harley Quinn.
it'd be weird if she didn't. She's
Yeah.
like the main star of that movie.
So as far as we know, the only ones who aren't returning are Deadshot, Will Smith's Deadshot, and Killer Croc.
That's fine. He looked odd with his makeup.
I really liked his little swim that he did. Remember when he got into the water and he was like, blah, 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 blah.
No, I don't remember that
Okay.
at all.
There's also talks that John Cena might join the cast.
Oh, done, son.
I really hope he's King Shark.
He's not. Doesn't have any other makeup. It's just a fin.
It's just a fin and the rest is him. John Cena. There's also some casting for Eternals, Victor. Ma Dong-suk from Train into Busan. It's a zombie movie from Korea.
Nope.
Didn't see it?
Nope.
Neither did I. I heard it was really good. He's in it. And also Conrad Ricamora from How to Get Away with Murder.
Nope. Haven't seen that either.
Yeah, me neither. Ma Dong-seok. I think he has been kind of reported that he is in it. But Conrad is just rumored. But the one that's got my interest, Kumail Nanjiani, is going to be in Eternals.
I don't know who that is.
Dang it, Victor. We talked about this. It's one of my favorite comedians. He was in my top 3 comedians like 3 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that guy. This is so funny.
Murder you. I will go to jail for this. I don't care. Anyway, that got me really excited. So they're going to be joining Angelina Jolie.
I dig it.
Black Widow, Victor. Are you familiar?
I've heard of her.
David Harbour has been cast in the movie.
Hellboy? Is it Hellboy showing up?
No, it's not Hellboy showing up. It's David Harbour, the actor, playing himself. Idiot.
Oh. He's playing himself in this?
No.
I watched into that one.
It's been a while. These are the jokes, okay? So he's been cast for sure in it. He's actually been talking about it during the Hellboy press tour, which apparently sucked, by the way.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to see it so bad now.
Yeah. But anyway, he's cast in it for sure.
They say who?
No. But remember a few weeks ago we were talking about Alec Baldwin maybe joining?
As Nick Fury, white?
Yeah, I don't know who he would play, but I think David Harbour was cast as that character.
Nick Fury?
No, Alec Baldwin's character.
Oh.
It's like, get out of the chair. You're too comfortable. O.T. Fagbanel?
That's probably not his name.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. He has been cast as the villain. He is from a show that I did not write down.
Did you just write down a show?
I thought I would remember it, but I didn't. Yeah, so he's been cast as the villain. Again, we have no idea who the villain is. A lot of rumors, a lot of people are hoping for Taskmaster.
Aw. I was hoping it'd be like a Cap fight with him. That'd be cool.
Yeah, well, Cap's dead.
What?
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 Or will he be? I don't know. These are the jokes, Victor. I'm sorry. I'm very tired.
Are you?
No.
You're just lying to my
I'm just
face.
not funny. This is awful.
Hmm.
And also Rachel Weisz. She was rumored before, but now it's looking pretty good that she might be joining.
Trying to think who she is. Sounds familiar.
For the Mummy movies.
Ah, damn it.
From the
original Mummy movies?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, not the 1930 ones, like the Brendan Fraser ones.
Shut up, Josh.
What is it? Born Supremacy, the Jeremy Renner spinoff. She was in that one.
And that's the only one I haven't seen.
It's like hopeless with you. Like I just try to help you and you're just like putting up roadblocks every time. Like here's an avenue and you're like, no, I can't go down that road anymore. See those guys on that stoop? They were mean to me. They called me names. I can't go down that road anymore. Anyway, you know who Rachel Weisz is. If you saw her, you'd be like, oh,
Rachel!
oh. You're a little bit too giddy.
Well, it's probably because
Someone's going to complain about that.
cup of sugar.
Anyway, Victor, do you want to talk Disney Plus?
You gonna get it?
Absolutely, I think.
I think it's like what, $9? It's gonna be $9 Canadian.
It was announced $6.99 for the States, so that's probably around $9.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds right. Right, for because that's how it was for Netflix.
Yeah, but the thing that really piqued my interest is they're putting every season of The Simpsons on there.
Oh, right, because they own Fox now. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Man, I'll pay $10 to see The Simpsons.
yeah.
They say how many shows are gonna be on that, or am I gonna go on there and like see all the shows on one screen?
What do you mean?
Like, do they have like a full lineup up? Are they gonna have just a bunch of shows? They're gonna pull like shows that Fox originally had, like The Simpsons,
okay.
or are
I
they
see
just
what you're
gonna?
saying. Like, there's going to be lots of new content for sure.
Mhm.
They announced Falcon and Winter Soldier,
That's
the TV show. They announced the Scarlet Witch and Vision show, which is called WandaVision, I
Yeah.
believe. They announced The Mandalorian, the Star Wars show.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then there's another Star Wars show with Cassian from Rogue One, the Latino guy, like the main guy who wasn't.
Didn't he die?
Yeah, so I think it's before then.
Do
So
we
it's
need a prequel to a prequel?
I don't know. Don't get me started. So there's that. Then there's the What If Marvel show.
It's a cartoon.
There's
and they're getting the actual actors to voice their characters again for that.
yeah, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think I told you about it
Yeah, I knew
on
that.
this podcast.
Probably not.
Maybe I did. Who's to say? Who can check?
But who will check?
Who will check? Anyway, yeah, so there's lots of stuff. I think there's a Monsters Incorporated show coming out too for Pixar, and there'll be lots of shows. But to answer your question, I don't know how many old shows, like old sitcoms and stuff, they'll put on it. But you think like DuckTales and Goof Troop and stuff will be on there?
Goof Troop. See, I love that show as a kid, but like I wonder, is that still gonna hold up for me now as an adult?
Better question. Will Gargoyles be on there?
Oh shit.
Gargoyles was dope. And you know how dope it was because I don't say dope.
I don't know, but now I can't tell if you're using that sarcastically or not.
No, Gargoyles was awesome. I loved Gargoyles.
I don't know if did that show conclude? Did that have a conclusion? Or did they just get canned?
I can't remember if it had like a proper ending or not.
So you're saying the ending wasn't set in stone? Yeah, no, that was bad. But speaking of Star Wars, did you see the new trailer?
I did see the new
For
trailer, Victor.
Episode 9?
I did. What is it called?
Rise of the Skywalker?
Yes. I did see the trailer, Victor.
What'd you think?
You know what? Star Wars is not really my thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow my skirt up. Doesn't make my slip and slide slick. If I put it out for the cat, maybe it wouldn't eat it. I don't know where I'm going with this. The point is, Victor, what I'm trying to say is that I like Star Wars fine. If someone was really into Star Wars, that doesn't make me upset or anything like that. Like people are fine to be into it. I have no aggression or hatred towards Star Wars or anything like that. It's just not, I'm just not into it as much.
So like on the same level as DC?
No, I like DC. They haven't been making great movies lately. They're getting better. They're righting the ship, but it's like a big cruise ship. Like it takes time to change direction. So anyway, what were we talking about? Star Wars. Yeah. So it looks fine, but a lot of people were like, I'm blown away by it. And I was like, yeah, that's good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but
I'm a little excited for it.
Yeah.
It seems like from all the news I've been reading that like they've realized the garbage that episode 8 was.
Okay.
They like just took a lot of the direction that was set up in episode 7 and just
every episode. Why do you insist on getting emails in the middle of the episode, Victor?
It's not even an email. That's an update saying, hey, your email's out of date.
What? Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, like I think they realize that like they're taking all the wrong turns they made in episode 8 and kind of fixing them, reworking them at least so it works. But
yeah, I don't know how much I like that. Like as disappointing as The Last Jedi was for some people, because they changed like some things. They were just like, hey, you were really expecting something big out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't mean anything. I would hate for the next movie to be like, no, but it did mean something.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going back and like just completely ignoring that they did that.
Mm.
But I think they're trying to like work that direction with what they originally had planned together. But I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Like just especially because it's J.J. Abrams back on it. I'm excited to see where it goes because I don't know. I do like that. I do like episode 7. Episode 8 was, didn't exist. So I don't know. I'm curious. So, it seems like they're bringing Luke back for some unknown reason, but
Force Ghost, man. Nobody's ever really gone. Is there any moment that like stuck out for you in the trailer that you're like, yes, you just sold me a ticket?
honestly, not really.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like the visuals really comment, but like they're all beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially some of the stuff in like episode 8 on that salt planet. The last
Crate. How do I know that? It's Crate.
it's Crate.
Yeah, with a K. Krayt. How do I know that, Victor?
I don't know,
Jeez.
but that just solidified my hatred for that movie. That's a stupid name for a planet.
It's got salt on it.
They put in a little sound clip of Palpatine laughing in there.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
I don't think I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Palpatine dying in episode 6 was kind of like an end of an era because
Yeah, like they did it.
that's it. That should be a good closure.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 7 onward should have been like a completely new thing.
It takes away from that moment. I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Depending on how they do it, it could be cool, but I think in most ways it's not going to be a good thing. Especially, it's going to affect episode 6 poorly. Because it's like, you see him die and it's like, oh, well, yeah. Like you said.
Yeah, but no one's ever really gone.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, unless he's a Force ghost.
Like a Sith ghost?
Sith ghost.
Interesting.
guess.
Would he be a red ghost, do you think?
That's how we differentiate ourselves in the afterlife. I'm Palpatine.
That's a terrible Palpatine, Victor.
Oh,
It's terrible.
This is how it sounds.
Just stop. Stop. Do you want to hear mine? Let's see if I can do it. Right?
All right.
Skywalker. Yeah, see, it's terrible.
It sounds like Bennett with throat cancer from like,
Bennett? Oh, from Commando. And now, young Skywalker, you will die. Unlimited power. Victor, we watched a movie this week. It was Infinity War.
Heck yeah.
We've been talking about this for a while. We kept going, nah. We'll talk about it later. So
Here it is.
here it is. Hopefully we have something to say. So yeah, this is the culmination event of 18. Is this number 18 or is this 19?
That was 19.
Something like 18 or 19 movies.
10 years of Marvel movies.
Yeah, coming before this. Well, Victor, non-spoilers. What do you think of Marvel's Infinity War?
Holy shit.
Is
That's
that
a lot. That's
Is it good? Is that
Yeah.
a good?
It's
Yeah.
fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's really good. I really like it.
It's depressing.
Should we get into spoilers?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
People die in this movie.
People do die in this movie. A lot of people die in this movie. And some of them are probably permanent. Okay, well, going into this movie, had you read Infinity Gauntlet? This is
No, actually,
loosely based on? Okay.
I have a pretty good idea going in.
Okay. So did you know that the snap was coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you expect Thanos to win or did you expect the Avengers
yeah.
to win at the end?
Well, the way they made this movie, I kind of clicked in about halfway and it's like, it seems like they're making Thanos more of the main character.
Yes. Yeah.
They almost filmed it like he was the main character, like the good guy. of the
Yeah.
movie, but
Like all the hero's journey points happened to him.
like at that, when I saw it, when I kind of like put that together, I was like, yeah, he's probably going to win at the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, we'd end on a cliffhanger with him with the upper hand.
Yeah. I 100% knew. I didn't know, but I suspected that the snap would happen at the end. And Infinity Gauntlet actually starts with the snap. He collects all the Infinity Stones in a comic called Thanos Quest. And then
Mhm.
Infinity Gauntlet starts with him snapping his fingers, and then half of the universe disappears.
So wait, since you read the comic, did they just disappear, or was there some kind of like visual effect?
They just blipped out. Like, you know how like when something disappears in comics, they always have lines around where they
Yeah.
were so that you to like make it clear, like, this is gone now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was, as I recall. Yeah, I was definitely expecting the snap to happen. I was surprised who they did kill off with it.
You know what Thanos should have done when he did that snap?
Mm-hmm.
Should have just made them like just wipe them from history, so you wouldn't even know they existed.
Yeah, they wouldn't remember them.
Yeah, or do the logical thing, double the resources.
Yeah, should we just go over the main plot real quick?
Yeah, sure.
It's not all that complicated. It's really Thanos wants the Infinity Stones, and he's going to go around the universe and collect them. There's 6 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and these have been stones of power that have been hinted at and teased over the last 10 years
Mm-hmm.
in Marvel movies. And once he collects all 6, he is going to wipe out half the universe because he's a madman.
Well, his reasoning was that like on his planet, they ran out of resources, and his world ended up starving to death.
Well, it wasn't just that. He came to them with that idea of like, we're going to die. Here's my idea to save us.
Mhm.
Was let's wipe out half our planet.
Yeah, at random,
And then
not
yeah.
there's no prejudice. Just
and they're like, you're an idiot. That's mad. We'll call you the Mad Titan because that's ridiculous. Get out of here, you psycho. And then they all died, and he's like, I hate to say I told you so, but somehow it's just not quite enough. Also, you're dead. So anyway, yeah. So then he believed so much in that mission that he, for decades, was going around to different planets and killing half of their population
Mhm.
before he even started hunting for the Infinity Stones.
That's actually the origin of how he found Gamora too. They show a
Mhm.
scene pretty early on in the movie.
I'm glad they did that scene, but I wanted more about the relationship between Thanos and Gamora
Mm-hmm.
because we've been told about Thanos a lot. We've seen brief glimpses of him throughout the last 10 years, but never anything substantial. And we've been told that he's kind of this awful abuser of a father. Nebula is also his daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
he's replaced most of her body with robotic parts every time she failed him and stuff. And
the portfolio.
see this? This is because I broke the cookie jar. This is from when I spilled milk.
Same day.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I wanted more because there is a part in this where Thanos has to give up something he loves, something that he loves the most in the universe in order to get the Soul Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And he chooses Gamora, and
Yeah.
he throws her off. And at this point, why do you like Gamora? Like, why is she your favorite?
Yeah.
There was that was just there wasn't enough of that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that moment is sad because it's like I liked Gamora and now she's dead, but I'm not sad because Thanos is sad because I don't understand why he even liked her.
I mean, they sold it very well to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I hadn't seen any of the Marvel movies and I saw that, I'd be like, oh yeah, I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him like loving her and
Yeah,
doing
and
that, but like
I think maybe it's more because of the other Marvel movies that I don't feel it as much because all we've heard of him from the other Marvel movies is how awful he was.
yeah.
And so you hear some of it in Infinity War, but definitely a lot of it is from the other movies. That part didn't really work for me. But so anyway, the movie starts off with Thanos. He's already started. He already has one of the Infinity Stones.
Power Stone, I think.
Yeah, so that was the one.
Off Nova.
The Nova Corps have it.
Yeah.
So that was the one from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. We started the movie and he's already like decimated.
The Asgard ship.
Who just can't catch a break.
Yeah, this is almost like right after, like
Almost
Thor
immediately after Ragnarok. Yeah.
I want to know what happened to the other. Like apparently some Asgardians got out of there, right? Like Valkyrie, according to the posters that they've posted for Endgame, she's
Mhm.
still alive.
And Korg and Meek weren't in that scene either.
Oh, they're probably dead.
I assume half of them got. So wait, do you think when Thanos snapped his finger that half of them disappeared again?
Oh yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Like, yeah, so when he snaps his fingers, half of the population of all the planets in the universe disappears.
Yeah.
Do you think he excluded the ones that he already traveled to and decimated half of the population already? Like
I don't think so.
that sucks.
Yeah, especially if you're Asgard, you just lost probably half your population in the whole thing with Hela.
Oh, probably more than half.
Most of your men anyway, right? Because most of them were in the royal guards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She killed all those before they even left. And then, and then Thanos comes and destroys half your ship.
And then, like, what, 3 days later, a bunch of them gets dusted?
Yeah.
What the dick? You said half.
Why does this keep happening to us? I can't help but feel that this is part of Thor's leadership.
I swear, if I see that guy again.
He's going to be Thor. You know what I'm saying?
Terrible.
He kills Heimdall in that scene.
That was sad.
Unceremoniously.
Mm-hmm.
And he kills Loki as well.
Long time coming.
Yeah. I'm actually going into this movie, I figured Loki above anyone else was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. He's had his arc. Like he's gone from good guy to bad guy to anti-hero to good guy.
Yeah.
Like it's time. So yeah, it's a good opening scene because right away, because again, as we talked about, we haven't seen much of Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And right away they establish him as like he is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, because like you have Thor and Hulk go up against him, and they both get their asses kicked pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it sets a bar.
And then kills the villain from the first Avengers, and then destroys the thing everybody was after in the first Avengers like it's nothing, just crushes it in his hand.
Oh, Space Stone!
Yeah,
that's what he sounds like in the movie. It's really weird.
No, it isn't, Victor. Stop it.
Yeah, the movie kind of picks up quick after that, and it doesn't really slow down. They goes to Earth for a bit for the Mind Stone, for their first attempt at the Time Stone with Doctor Strange.
Yes. Anyway, yeah. So he has children, much like Gamora and Nebula. The Black Order. There's 5 members in the comics, but there's only 4 in this movie.
Who was the 5th one?
There's a chick called Supernova. She's blue skinned.
Huh.
I think she's telepathic or something like that. They're kind of like ridiculously strong in the comics, like a little bit overpowered. So in the movie, I'm kind of glad they pulled them back a little bit. Did you like the Black Order, Victor?
I'm glad we had like 4 specific characters and not just like an army.
Uh-huh.
Just like a bunch of like unknown, faceless monsters, aliens that they sent after people.
You like having a face on your bad guys?
Yeah, I like someone to like actually pose a threat rather than just the heroes being overwhelmed purely by numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. What did you think of Ebony Maw?
He was fine. He was weird, really ugly.
They're all kind of ugly. Well, Proxima Midnight, she was okay.
But I mean, the other guys are like, they're ugly, but they're cool looking. Ebony Maw just looks gross. He's like an old dude that has just weird proportions.
He was cool though. I really liked him. He's probably my favorite of the 4 of them. Because what's his name? In the comics, he was called Black Dwarf, but they called him Call Obsidian in the movie. The big guy.
I liked him.
He had that cool axe that was on a chain.
Yeah.
Just a never-ending chain. Just kept going and going and going.
I wish they gave him a bit more to say, and in English.
Yeah.
I think overall, I think they were all pretty cool. They all had their own. They kind of all fit like a
like an archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like a nice change.
They're really the only new characters they introduce in this movie. Like everybody else is from something else.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bad thing or not, but like this movie is definitely, it is the culmination of all the other movies. And so I imagine it would be really hard to go into this blind, like having not seen any of the other ones, because as Victor said, it's a very fast paced movie and it kind of doesn't let up once it starts. And they don't really take any time to introduce anyone other than Thanos. Like everybody else, it just kind of appears and you're just like, oh yeah, that's Captain America. I know who he is, what he's about. I'm glad
Yeah,
he's here now.
Because the only breathing room you get is every time they change locations. But even then, you get like maybe a couple minutes.
You get an exposition for about 2 minutes, and then it
Shit happens.
doesn't let up. Yeah.
Because it's like,
They're always reacting to what's happening, right? All the good guys, at least.
because it's like they go from Thor's ship to Earth, and then they jump to nowhere, and then it jumps back to Earth, and then it jumps to Titan, and then it jumps back to Earth.
For Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it never lets up.
No, it's
And meanwhile, Thor is building an axe.
yeah. There's a lot there's what 3 different like plot lines going on. You got Thor going after a new hammer,
Mm-hmm. Tony and Co. are,
Titan, and then everyone are prepping for Wakanda,
yeah.
protecting the Mind Stone or trying to get it out of Vision's body.
Mm-hmm. That's something I really liked about the movie is we've buried the lead on this. Thanos wins.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's kind of implied that they don't win for 2 reasons. As one of them is that they're all separated through most of the movie. And because of it some of it is because of Civil War, that they're just not in the same room. They refuse to talk to each other. Also, it's like Thor takes off and he takes half the Guardians of the Galaxy with him, and they're separated as well. And so it's really not until the end of the movie that people kind of come together. But even still, like Tony doesn't ever come back to Earth in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that reason. And then the other reason was it's all about like the will to do what's necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Avengers, all of them are willing to die for what they believe in, but they're not willing to let someone else die for what they believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have ended it real quick if they were just like, you're right, Vision, you should kill yourself. Whereas like Thanos is the only one who's like, I have to kill Gamora in order to do it.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, well, no, there's got to be another way so that you don't have to die. I don't know how intentional that was, but I don't know. It's just a new angle on the hero mythos, right? Of like, of course, all of these guys are willing to lay down their lives, but are they willing to throw someone else on the grenade?
Yeah. Not willing to trade lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it wasn't purposeful. I wasn't just reading into it.
Was it Kat that said that? Was it in this movie?
Yeah, it was in this movie, right? Because Vision's like, yeah, you guys should kill me. And Cap's like, no, we're not going to do that. And he's like, Cap, you killed yourself to win World War II. But that was different.
When I did it was cool.
And you're a robot. And it was the 40s. It was a different time, Vision.
Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah, so I liked that part of it. That
Also, the other thing I kind of gave it away that this wasn't going to be them winning is that like I felt like the characters weren't their iconic selves. Like Black Widow had her blonde hair, Cap wasn't Cap, he didn't have his shield, and like I don't know, just a lot of things. Like
Banner was never Hulk.
Yeah, so like I kind of felt like okay, this is like the deconstructed Avengers. Like visually, it's not them anymore. So then it felt like they were just kind of saving that iconic moment of all the Avengers in their like traditional costumes and colors all lined up for the end.
Yeah, you're right.
We never saw that.
It's not like they're not their iconic selves.
Yeah.
That's why they lose.
Exactly.
That is why you fail. Should we talk about Thanos and his plan?
Terrible plan. I mean, I agree with it.
The overpopulation thing?
Yeah. Imagine current Earth after the snap. Like, it took me 40 minutes to get to your house. Normally, it would take me like 15.
Yeah, because of traffic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Just no traffic. Done.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a while ago on an old episode.
I'm on Thanos' side.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we brought this up quite a few times throughout the movie. Why didn't you just double the resources if they were worried about if his main issue was that people were going to starve?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And I mean, mine was why not make everyone like a quarter of the size that they are?
Yeah, come on, man. You have 6 Infinity Stones. That should be...
Or double the size of, well, I guess doubling the size of like all the cows. That would mean more methane gas, more...
That would fuck up the planet so bad.
Yeah, it would. But shrinking everybody else, that would work. It's better than having to deal with your husband disappearing or whatever.
Yeah, for me though, I'm willing to just keep mine a regular size and losing half the people. But he says like it's at random, right? So like, can you imagine like all of a country disappeared?
Yeah, just the whole country.
Or like China lost like 75 of its population, but North America was like overall not affected at all.
That's true. And the other thing is because it's random, like it's also more than half because it's pilots of planes disappearing or, people dying in car accidents or children who no longer have parents or, doctors in the middle of surgeries. There's all that fallout too. But also within a few generations, we'll just double our population again. Like at most he's given us another 60 years or something, maybe another 100 years.
Maybe he'll be like, oh shit, we should keep our population down before Thanos comes back.
Yeah.
Every 60 years, just like.
Think about like with World War II. Like,
oh yeah. Baby boomers.
We didn't lose half our population during World War II, but we lost a good chunk of the world's population. And there's a whole generation named after how much procreating we did when people came back from the war. So,
boom, looking for this. Like I said, I think he should have just like wiped them off the books completely. You wouldn't even know who disappeared because you wouldn't have known they existed.
Like you mean you just forget they existed?
Yeah.
Like what you just said, exactly word for word.
So like
just to be clear,
the pilot that disappeared, you'd be like, oh, why did I get on this plane without a pilot? How did we even get up here? Oh, we're crashing.
But Thanos looks fantastic.
Like I forgot that he was CGI for a good chunk of it, but there's a few moments where he stands out kind of strange. One of them being around Thor's ship. I feel like that might have been like the first time.
Oh, really?
Or like the first few scenes they did or something. Like I don't know. He just stood out a little bit more there than anywhere else. Could have also been the armor.
Yeah, that could be it.
Because his armor is kind of not goofy, but like it's almost fantasy like.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't fit.
It is nuts how good Thanos looks.
Yeah.
And like there's scenes where like he's talking and the veins in his forehead are moving.
Mm-hmm. Or he's talking to Gamora and she's talking back to him. And you can, the thing you do, like you kind of clench your teeth with your mouth closed and you see your like temples kind of like.
I'll say, yeah.
Or like when he's crying after when he realizes he has to kill Gamora, it like runs down like the creases in his like face.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
And then you pointed out at the end of the movie, because he hasn't shaved, he has like the slightest stubble on his head and on his chin. This is my take on Thanos. I don't think he really works on paper.
What do you mean?
Like the reason he works in this movie is because of Josh Brolin's performance. Because again, as we talked about, his plan's a little dumb. It's not well thought out at all. And there's multiple times people are telling him how dumb his plan is. And also, like, as I mentioned before, too, like the relationship with Gamora is not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
But Josh Brolin's performance, I don't think it wouldn't have worked if it wasn't Josh Brolin playing this character. And if the animation was not as good as it was.
If it was like the same animation team and like the end of Black Panther.
Sure. Yeah, I was just thinking about it, like what he actually says and what he actually does in scenes and stuff like that. It's all about like the little nuances of his performance on his face that really sells what he's speaking about.
Yeah.
And like, there's just little things which I mean, won't be good for podcasting, but like there's the moment where he's talking to Star-Lord and he's like, do it. Mm-hmm. And then he does like that head roll or he's just like, ugh, and then pushes Gamora forward and he's like, do it. Like there's stuff like that. And like, there's little looks that he gives people. Yeah. I think I don't think he would have worked if it wasn't for Josh Brolin and the animation team behind capturing his performance.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause his plan sucks.
It really does. And I was trying to justify it, and the only thing I can think of is because he started before he had Infinity Stones. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he could go around to each planet and be like, look, I brought 50% more resources for you. So I kind of get if maybe that's his reasoning that he already started.
Maybe the first planet he visited, he brought like just a bunch of resources.
And he's like, boy, that was expensive. I don't think we can do that again.
I literally took over a planet just to grow that. And I ain't doing that shit again.
And like Ebony Maw's got like a spreadsheet. And he's like, I think we should just do your original plan. Just kill him. Like, because everything turns up black when we do it that way.
Okay. So at the end of the movie, after we see all the characters die or get dusted. We see a shot of Thanos on like some planet. It looks like a farm. And he's just chilling out like the hero at the end of his movie.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what he's doing at that point? Going back, tending to his resources. He's like, maybe I should try this again.
So in 100 years, when they've redoubled the population, I don't have to do this snap thing again. I liked the end of the movie. Ballsy to end on the villain just being like, I did a good job.
Yeah. Well, what I liked about this movie, if you kind of put your mindset in this fact that like behind Thanos, like this movie is completely like about him. He's the main character. He's like he's the protagonist of the movie, and it works.
I think that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
You can't. There's just too many characters, not enough time to really concentrate on everything.
That's probably why they did that. Like,
absolutely.
why they did the snap, just so they like. There's too many characters, man. Why don't we just wipe the board? We just got rid of half the characters.
Well, I was listening to an interview with the writers at one point, and they said there was some characters that they didn't have snapped, but then in Endgame, they're like, we don't have enough for them to do, so just add them to the people who were snapped.
That's a very like convenient plot device.
Do you want to talk about Gamora a little bit? I wrote down some of the characters that stuck out. Gamora was one for me. She was kind of the moral backbone for the movie for me.
Okay.
She was like the emotional core in a way. And then she was the only one who said to Thanos more than once, you're insane. She was like everyone else Thanos dealt with. It was always just fighting them, or I guess everyone else was just, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
And Gamora was the only one who was like, well, whether you win or not, this is the dumb plan. It's dumb, and you're dumb for thinking it'll work.
Can you imagine he's pulling out his back pocket, showing the spreadsheet? You know what's dumber? Trying to grow double the resources of each planet.
Because I tried it.
Look at this. Look at how much money it takes us to transport corn.
No, I really liked her. I liked that they leaned into it too. Like, she made sense to be one of the characters that they concentrated on. And
she was the only one that had like any kind of emotional connection with Thanos. Yeah, she spent the most time with Thanos because there's there's a scene out of nowhere where she thinks she kills him with like a hologram or not a hologram, but like just a copy
illusion with reality, right?
Yeah. And like there's a lot of emotion at that moment between her and like the fake Thanos dying. And then there's the trip between her and Thanos to that planet with the Soul Stone,
Vormir.
And then the scenes I would assume in the Soul Stone, where it's like her as a child again. Yeah, because of that, it definitely puts her closer to the center of the movie than any of the other characters.
I really liked that scene too, where she kills Thanos on nowhere, and she just breaks down in tears.
Yeah,
from it. And even though in the scene itself, Thanos is like, "Oh, do I sense sadness in you?" I think he mistakes it for, she's sad, I'm dead. I think it's more just like the emotional relief of like, it's finally done. Like the abuser is gone. Like that's how I always read it. And I just love that it just shatters her to finally win. But like, I don't know. Because they have a terrible relationship. It's not healthy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure none of his relationships are healthy.
Well, that's the thing too, is like he's not a good dad. And he thinks he is. I think that's the madness of him. I guess that extends to his plan, right? Where he's just like, no, this is good for everybody if I just kill half of them. Anyway, the other character that really stood out for me was Thor.
Yeah, I think this was like I think this is the movie he showed the most like character emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that one scene where he's talking to Rocket on their ship, on the Guardians ship, where he's talking about
what more could I lose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense. That was an intense moment.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it last night where it's like he's showing like so bravado and laughing it off while he's crying.
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts acting. Like, cause it's just on so many levels. Like, yeah, it's crazy acting on Chris Hemsworth's part. Yeah, he really stood out. And because I know subverting expectations because of The Last Jedi has kind of become a taboo phrase, but I like that if you went into this movie as a normal audience member who was not familiar with the source material, you would think Thor was going to win the movie because he's the one who's broken at the beginning. And I just like that it could have been Thor because he kind of has the same hero's journey. It's not as emotional as Thanos. Like he has that low moment too of all is lost when after he gets blown up by the star or whatever, right? Where it's like, oh, is he dead?
Just a little crispy.
Yeah. But yeah, if he had killed Thanos, then it would have been his movie, right?
Actually, if I had one nitpick about this movie, is that they go to wherever that place is with the dwarves.
Never.
So they go there because the dwarves crafted Mjolnir, his original hammer, in the first place, and they're the one that crafts weapons for the gods.
Yeah.
Which is badass. It's cool. So they get there, and it looks deserted. The neutron star that they use to forge their weapons has gone out, and the only one left is Peter Dinklage, but he doesn't have his hands. They're like covered in like metal, and he's like, "Oh, well, he's the only guy that can like forge my new weapon." But from the looks of things, it looks like he just pulled a file out from his cabinet, and it's like, "All right, pour some metal into this," and there's your axe head.
Yeah, you're saying like because they make a point, right? That it's not about your hands; it's about your mind. You've designed all these great weapons,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh yeah, I have. Here's an old one I did.
Yeah, because you never see like the brilliance of Peter Dinklage's character.
Right.
You see him doing grunt work. It's basically grunt work.
Yeah. It's because he had it in a vault, Victor, and he couldn't open the vault door. He needed someone else to open it.
But I liked that his hammer is like the handle of it is Groot's arm.
Oh, you did like that?
Yeah. I kind of hated it at the beginning because I was like,
it was a year ago, but I remember you saying that you didn't like it. But.
No, I don't know, something about it was like, you know, I really liked Mjolnir's look, and I wish Stormbreaker was a little bit more like industrial looking, or just fit the hammer's look or the
it looked more Asgardian or whatever.
Yeah, but then with that like Groot's arm, it just looked out of place. But now anyway, I like it.
Would you say it's grown on you?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
You should be.
I really like to, because the Russos are the directors of the movie. They're really good at taking characters that have already been established in the MCU and kind of plussing them and making them more awesome. And they did it again in this movie because they've done it with pretty much every movie that they've done. Like they took Captain America and made him awesome in Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Well, they kind of, because they did Civil War, and they kind of gave Tony like a very dark path, which was kind of cool. Because you never really see that side of Tony in the other movies.
Yeah, like the closest we get is the first Iron Man, right? And but they did it again in this movie. Particularly with Doctor Strange, they made him pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. He's definitely learned a lot since his first outing.
Yeah, and something that didn't work as well in the Doctor Strange movie was the way I always read him in the comics was like he was this guy who was like on another level as far as like wisdom. Like he always knew more about the situation than everybody else. And he was kind of like the mentor that people would go to for advice or like to learn about the situation and be like, hey, we're dealing with this dragon. Do you know about these kind of dragons? He'd be like, yes, the dragons of blah, blah, blah. And then he'd explain it to them.
Yeah.
Like he would be the exposition drop in the movie.
Right.
And because he was the main character in Doctor Strange, he couldn't be that. But in this movie, he is much more like that, which is cool. And then plus he is more than just like the sparks and stuff. He's got cool spells in this one.
Yeah.
Well, Victor, should we talk about the controversial Star-Lord moment in this movie?
Oh, the one where he fucks up the plan on Titan?
Yeah.
To get the gauntlet off?
I never had a problem with it. I mean, yes, it is his fault. But it's a human decision. I was never like, freaking Star-Lord. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense for his character, but yeah, I don't know. Like Tony was very vocal about Star-Lord keeping his cool for a bit until he got the gauntlet off. Should have just blasted him.
Yeah, just shoot him in the face.
Just shoot him off to the side. Figure it out. Chill out.
Yeah. I loved Tony interacting with the Guardians, especially because it was like the not even like competent ones. Like
it's funny because like, yeah, you could see the pain in his face.
there is that moment, especially because it's like, I've been thinking about this for 6 years and this is who I have to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I love it.
I liked that, like his the first time he addresses the Guardians, like, who are you guys? It's like, we're here to take ass and kick names. And that's the first time you see him just like, oh God, we're screwed.
I love just like all the different pairings of
the different
like there's different pairings they did throughout the movie, just with random characters meeting and
like Thor, Groot, and Rocket.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking team.
Yeah, for sure. I really like Tony and Strange.
Mm-hmm.
They worked well together because they're just like these both egocentric guys, and one's based in magic, one's based in science.
Yeah, but it's funny because like people have always mentioned that like they're basically the same character in terms of like personality, and it does come across as that, but it's never awkward. Like they do interact very well with each other.
And I think though that's kind of what I was saying before, how like Doctor Strange, like he became more of the all-knowing character in a little bit, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it, is that like he still has one step ahead of Tony, whereas again Tony's reacting to everything, and Doctor Strange is like, well, I know a little bit about this.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that moment too, where he said at the beginning, if it comes down to it, between you and the stone, I'm gonna let you die. But then later, he doesn't let him die.
Ooh, it's the only way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't remember who said. I think it was one of the writers saying like, Star-Lord had one of the best improv lines.
What's that?
He's like, I'm gonna blast that nutsack of a chin off your face.
Thanos has some great lines too. Thanos is incredibly quotable.
Yes, he is.
Just like the hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Well, there's the perfectly balanced, as all things should be. There's so many memes about that.
Yes, yeah. Dread it, run from it, but destiny still arrives. Yeah, great villain. Great villain.
Is he really a villain though?
Yes, he is.
Really? Okay.
He wants to kill half the universe.
But I mean, maybe he just heard the complaints of all the people sitting in traffic and waiting in lines.
And you really hate traffic. Victor, is there anything that you didn't like about this movie?
Not really, outside of what I mentioned previously about Peter Dinklage's character's usage in the movie. I don't know. I think overall they did a very good job at kind of like every scene in this movie had a purpose. Every scene was well done, and the pacing was like, I always judge a movie's pacing, but like if I notice the time passing, then I'm not satisfied with the pacing. I think this entire movie I was engaged. So 100%.
You want to know one of my nitpicks?
Yes.
What? No Hawkeye?
Come on.
I was disappointed that Hawkeye was not in this movie. I mean, I get it, but like he's like the only one other than Ant-Man who's not in it.
Oh, Ant-Man in Wakanda would have been crazy.
Yeah. If he went like Giant Man. Well, okay, there's something. That's actually a nitpick I have. Why didn't they use like all of Wakanda's resources in that battle? They've got giant rhinos. They got ships.
I would have kept the rhinos out, actually.
Why is that?
They would have just got like torn up.
That's what they're for, Victor.
They only have so many. They can't build rhinos. You know how many years it takes to grow a rhino? Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have like ships, because they didn't have any ships.
No, they had nothing flying around other than War Machine and Falcon. Anyway, do you have any other just like random thoughts about the movie? Something you liked, something you didn't like?
Actually, one thing I thought was really cool was the that armor that Iron Man had, all the nanobots.
Yeah,
basically it made up his armor. I like that. Like his helmet gets ripped off at one point by Thanos, and his suit knows to like kind of grow it back. Yeah, but like near the end of the fight between him and Thanos, the nanobots, like he's running out of them because parts are getting destroyed. So like you see parts from his like leg disappearing and then forming up around his arms,
Yeah,
where he's using to blast. That was a really cool feature.
that is cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that Iron Man thing. I mean, Thor showing up in Wakanda.
That was probably the most badass scene in the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty great. The scene where Cap catches the spear and comes out from the shadows. That moment always makes me smile. Do you want to just talk about the snap and then we'll kind of wrap up?
Yeah, sure.
So we talked a little bit at the beginning of this that we both knew that the snap was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised at who disappeared?
No, because going into this, like knowing that they were going to lose, there's no way that they would have gotten rid of the original 6. So I knew the original 6 was going to survive. So I figured everyone else outside of that, maybe a few wouldn't, but most of the people that weren't the original 6 would be disappearing.
Okay. Because I thought the snap was going to be permanent. And so I was like, yeah, Bucky will probably go, which is he's the first one to go. So you're like, duh.
Makes sense.
All right. And then I think the next major one is Black Panther. And I was like, oh, this is not permanent because his movie just made $1 billion. So I was surprised by that. That was a nice surprise. And then I think, then all the Guardians went except for Rocket and
Nebula.
And then Spider-Man. That one was rough. I remember in the theater being like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Because like my thought going into this is like it's either like the original 6 surviving, and then that's kind of like the next movie would be their last outing together before they either go their separate ways, retire, or get killed off. And then it'd be the new Avengers. Or it would have been the old Avengers kind of disappearing from the snap. And then it's the new Avengers to kind of like have to pull together and form the new Avengers. And that's how we get introduced to like the new team. But I'm glad they did it this way.
Yeah. Because it'll be more of a send off. Yeah. I liked that moment. I pointed out to you while we were watching it because there's that moment after everyone has dusted on Titan and Tony just kind of sits and he like kind of closes his eyes. And I always read that moment as like he's waiting for him to disappear too. And when he doesn't, it's just like he's gutted even more because he's just like, that's exactly like how I thought it would happen is everyone else would die and I'd have to live with it.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a cool moment, even though I'm probably reading too much into it, but
maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, this movie was great.
Yeah.
I love this movie. It shouldn't work at all. It's not really a movie. It's more like a season finale of a TV show. But it's pretty fantastic regardless. And I think because you and I have been invested in this for the last 10 years, it pays off more for us. It's more impactful. I'm
curious to see like how this movie held up for someone who went in completely fresh, not knowing anything about Marvel at all, and just kind of saw this movie. This was their first Marvel movie. I'm curious to see how that would have held up. It'd be so confusing.
Really would be. I'm sure you could get some from context, but like a lot of it is just like, okay, so that guy's a wizard. That guy's wears a suit of armor.
Is that really Squidward?
Is this a SpongeBob movie? You like it? Give it a pass?
It's all right.
Would you watch it again, Victor? Knowing that you don't really watch movies again?
I'd say I'd probably watch this movie 4 or 5 times now, which is a lot for me.
That is a lot for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
in a year? Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I watch this one all the time. So, yeah, this is a great movie. I'm excited for the next part, which is happening next week.
You want to jump into like speculation, see what's going to happen, what you think is going to happen next?
Yeah.
Next movie?
Yeah. And so we're purposely putting this at the end. So like if you want to go in completely blind to Endgame, thanks for listening. And you can leave now. But yeah, not that we know any spoilers or anything like that, but there's a chance that we could guess right. Like I've seen set photos and stuff like that. So I have some idea of what's going on, but
yeah, like this is based purely off just like what they've released in the media, the news, behind the scenes, and
online speculation,
and just basic knowledge of the comics, I guess.
Yeah, this is more fun for us. We'll see how right we are next week.
Yeah.
So let's just go. What do you think is going to happen, Victor? Like as far what do you think the plot will be?
So in the trailers, Cap does this big old speech about knowing their teams, knowing their goals, and they're in their like weird quantum realm suits.
So you think it's quantum realm? They're gonna go through the quantum realm?
I'm trying to think. Like I don't know what they would even do in the quantum realm.
Well, there's time vortexes, right? They laid that pretty big hint at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Because like there was speculation about them being a bit of time traveling in this movie.
Yes, I think that's absolutely going to happen.
You think they're going to go back in time to these events where they first encountered the Infinity Stones?
Yeah.
And just grab them and start and have their own Infinity Gauntlet?
Maybe they will grab them, but I wonder if that would create a paradox. Like, because it all depends on how time travel works in the MCU. Because
it's like a separate entity altogether.
Yeah, because there's all sorts of different ways you can deal with time travel in movies where it's like whatever happened. And so it's always you went back in time and did this, or there's one where you can go back and change whatever, or there's the ones where it's like you can go back, but it creates another dimension. Yeah. And that creates a new timeline.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a mixture because like there's a lot of things that got fucked up in these 3 phases that they've done in these movies. So one of them being like the shield is no longer a thing.
Right.
The big fallout between Cap and Iron Man and the superhero registration and just the end of Asgard. So I'm wondering if they're going to use the time travel to get the stones and in that process, fixing all those things. And maybe that being a way to bring Loki back.
I don't want him to bring Loki back. He's had his time.
But like, they will.
I don't know. I definitely agree with you that they're going to do time travel. I think just based on what they've shown us in the trailers, they're going to go after Thanos early in the movie. And he's either going to destroy the stones or like they'll lose or something like that. They will find that that's not the way that they can get the gauntlet or whatever. Like he'll destroy it or he'll still just be too powerful for them and they won't win. Yeah. And so they'll come back with their tails between their legs. And then Ant-Man will show up and they'll be like, oh, maybe time travel. And then they'll do it that way. Yeah. So I wonder if they actually will take the stones or if they'll maybe copy them. Like, cause you know how they copied a lot of the information from Vision Stone? Oh, like they pulled information out for, what's it called? Ultron? Yeah. I wonder if they'll do something like that. Well, there's an episode in the Avengers cartoon where Tony's analyzing all the Infinity Stones as they're being used. He basically has a suit that counteracts them somehow. Okay. So they don't really work. But like, not saying that he would have a suit that's that powerful, because I don't think it makes sense in the context of this universe. But I don't know, maybe some similar? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So that's basically what I think would happen. And then they'll undo the snap and kill Thanos at the end of the movie. There's that one scene in the trailers where it's the big 3, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. Yeah. Walking up to Thanos. It looks like Thanos. Yeah. In this like destroyed field. Do you think that's going to be on that planet or do you think it's going to be on Earth? I think that's the Avengers compound. Oh, really? Yeah. Because you remember there's that scene where Ant-Man is like jumping off of a pencil. Oh, yeah. And then there's like the hanging audio jack. Oh, he's somehow he figures out what they're doing. He comes back and destroys it. That makes sense. Yeah. So, okay. So we definitely think it's time travel then? Not, I don't know. I want to say it's like a key part of the movie, but I'm hoping it's not like the entire movie. Okay. Do you want to just go through the 11 Avengers that are there and just decide who lives, who dies? You think they'll kill off more than? They might. If you kill off more than one of those characters though, that we've spent time with in the last 10 years, do you think that would take away some of that emotion if we kill 2 off though? I don't think so. No? No. I think I think whoever dies in it, it's not going to be a chump death. It's going to be like a sacrificial death. I think it almost narrows down to either Tony or Cap. Cap, yeah. Okay, well let's go through them. All right. Iron Man. I'd say it's 50-50. 50-50. I think he's going to live. Yeah. He'll retire. He'll have small cameos here and there in the future. Interesting. I'm hoping he's the one to die. Why is that? I think he's done enough. Like I think his journey has come to an end. He's predicted this coming. I think him living through it is kind of, I don't know. I think it's unnecessary. It is kind of poetic, both on screen and off, right? That it would be him. Because like Robert Downey Jr. has been there since the beginning. Yeah. It would be kind of poetic. Like, this is the end. It's also the end for him. Yeah. I think he's still going to live though. I don't think Robert
It's too
Downey Jr.
valuable.
can turn down that paycheck. Captain America.
If it's not Tony, I'd like to see him die. But at the same time,
I'd
I'd
like to see him die.
Someone's got one of these two has to die. I don't know.
What if they do? What if no one dies?
Eh.
Is that lackluster for you, or do you? I would be okay if they just
Like
retired.
if this was like the comics, I'd be fine with no one dying. But like, I want this movie to have a real impact. I want it to have consequence. So if Cap dies, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
But I would like to see him live too, to also be like the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. or make little cameos here and there.
With all these characters, it's a little too bad that the timing of the Fox deal, because a lot of them I'm like, oh man, I would really like to see them interact with Reed Richards, or I'd really like to see Wolverine and Cap talk or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I guess they could still do that. They could have a flashback to World War II. Anyway, who's next? Thor.
Thor? I don't know, actually. I don't think they'll kill him off.
I don't think so either. I heard rumor that there's a Thor 4 coming out. So I doubt they would kill him. I could see him retiring. I could see him like
going back to his people.
Yeah, and just
being a king.
Just deciding to be a king and not trying to make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus they could do the Dark Siege storyline where Norman Osborn in the Dark Avengers destroy Asgard when it's on in Oklahoma. I think it's where it is in the comics.
Yeah. It's just a floating city.
Yeah. Black Widow. I could see her dying.
Yeah. But I don't think it.
I think her above Hawkeye.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't be upset if they killed her off. I think that'd be a pretty good choice.
Yeah, especially because like she started off as like this assassin, right? And like for her to end her life literally saving the universe, like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. And then Hulk.
He could go either way. I could see him, like, I don't think he'll ever get a solo movie, but
no,
I could see him turning up in other franchises.
Yeah, I don't see him killing him off either.
What about Hawkeye?
Who?
You know what my wife calls him now? Mohawk Eye.
The Mohawk Eye. What do you think of his new haircut?
Stupid. What about Ant-Man or Captain Marvel?
Well, no.
No. Yeah, me neither. I don't think so.
Because I think the character that dies in this has to be so impactful that like the audience actually feels it. Like the majority of the audiences will feel it. And I don't think any of them will care, because like if it's Ant-Man or Captain Marvel, who's been in like 2 movies.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious if it was Captain Marvel though. That'd be kind of a cool idea too, though, because they've been teasing her, and she's like, no, she's going to lead the Marvel universe from now on.
From the grave.
What about Nebula or Rocket? I could see Nebula dying. She would die either killing Thanos or failing to kill Thanos.
Ooh, definitely failing.
You don't think she'd get the killing blow, but like as she does, he cuts her head off. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I'm hoping that they'll do that scene from the comics where everyone's kind of down and out, and it's just Cap left standing, and he walks up to Thanos and gives him that speech.
Like, as long as someone's in your way or something like that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's from Infinity Gauntlet. Is that all of them? I think it is. Let's talk about the people who weren't stabbed, who died. So Heimdall, dead. Aruni,
dead.
Loki,
super dead.
Vision,
hyper dead.
You don't think they could rebuild him?
I don't think they're gonna rebuild him. I think I don't know.
Do you think
part of me thinks he's still gonna have the Mind Stone in his show?
Oh, okay, like they put it back in. Yeah. I wonder if they'll do like they rebuild him without the Mind Stone, and then he's like a different person, and he has to learn to be who he was again. And Gamora, do you think Gamora stays dead?
I'd be okay if she stayed dead, actually.
Yeah, I would too. As much as I like her, and you kind of wonder what the Guardians will be like without her, because she's really the one who kept them all in line, and everyone else, they're a bunch of children, and she was like the mother.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what the Guardians would look like without her.
I'm hoping we see Star-Lord kind of drift off and do his own thing in the next one.
Oh, really?
If at least for part of it, kind of like his morning phase.
Yeah. So what does he do in the afternoon?
Fuck off, Josh. It's too late for this.
Okay, and the snaps, people. Obviously they are going to undo the snap.
Maybe they'll just clone them all for Spider-Man's movie.
Dumb. Do you think that they'll reverse the snap and then it's just like kind of the epilogue of all these people coming back and then getting back into their lives? Or do you think it'll be they undo the snap and then everybody goes and fights Thanos?
I think they're going to undo the snap and like they won't even know that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're gonna either defeat Thanos and somehow use the stones to like just kind of reverse everything.
So it would be more like an epilogue thing then?
Mm-hmm. Because like if you look at the trailers for Spider-Man, there's no mention. There's no mention of that. That could be 100% decision on
Marvel's part?
Marvel's part to like not ruin the end game,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no focus on it anywhere. Like that's a big event.
I think it's going to be like a huge battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any moments that we have been waiting for as fans that you think they're going to finally pay off? Like, do you think Cap will say Avengers Assemble?
Ooh, I forgot about that.
I think he will.
Yeah, probably.
There was rumor that he was going to use Mjolnir. I don't know how he would because it's destroyed.
Time travel.
I guess so. Do you think Cap will be able to pick up Mjolnir?
That'd be really fucking cool if he did. They
Yeah.
teased it a little bit in Age of Ultron.
That's what I mean. That's why I bring it up. All the things I've been waiting for are like Cap related. I'm like, do you think the shield's going to break?
Oh, the shield breaks and that's when he picks up Mjolnir?
Yeah.
Oh, you think Thor would have Mjolnir and Stormbreaker at the same time?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Really?
I mean, if Mjolnir is going to show up for Cap to pick it up, Thor has to have it first. It's not just to be like, here, Cap, take this. You moved it once.
You're probably worthy.
Do you think Pepper and Tony will get married, or do you think he'll die tragically and be like, this funeral was going to be our wedding day?
You remember at the end of the movie, they were talking about how Tony had a dream, a very vivid dream about him having a kid.
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
So they casted a younger female character for this movie. Do you think that's going to be his daughter?
Maybe.
Ooh, I forgot about that part. I wanted to bring that up.
I don't like it when superheroes have kids. I don't like it when sitcom people have kids either. Because they always forget them.
Like Ross?
Yeah. Is there any other moments that you can think of that you think they'll pay off?
You think they'll finally do Hulk bursting out of the Iron Man suit?
Ooh, yeah, I hope they do.
Because that'd be a really cool sight.
Yeah, that like Hulk finally makes his return. I've heard Professor Hulk. Well, I guess
Smart Hulk.
Yeah, I guess he's been in some of the promo images, like a smarter looking Hulk. I'm trying to think. Is there any other moment? Not that I can think of that I've been really dying to see.
No, I think most of them are Cap related.
Yeah, because Iron Man, we've seen a lot of what I've wanted to see from him.
Yeah, the big Iron Man armor fight.
Saw Hulkbuster, saw the Iron Legion. Last question, Victor. What if it sucks?
Oh no.
What if they Phantom Menace this?
Imagine that. 11 years, the final chapter, it just comes crashing down.
I mean, they're going to make money on this no matter what. I think it's outsold most movies.
Isn't it the first
with
weekend expected to be
pre-ticket
like
sales.
800 million?
Something like that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's how most movies finish. Like most movies don't even get that high.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if it sucks?
I don't think it will.
No. They would have to screw it up really badly.
Anyway, shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think it's time. Well, thanks again for listening, guys. This has been another episode of The Average Uninformed. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys next week after we see Endgame. Give you guys a proper review on that because holy shit, it's probably going to be awesome.
Sure.
Right?
I hope so.
If you have any comments, leave them in the comments and you can get in touch with us directly. You can email us at averageuninformed@gmail.com. And talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.